Have you ever been lying in bed wanting to sleep, but your thoughts are keeping you from sleeping? Or maybe trying to focus on studying, on your test, or on reading a book, but your mind is wandering? Well, you're not alone because half the time people are wandering. So a lot of studies have shown that around 47% of the time, roughly more or less, the mind is wandering, not on task. But why does it do that? Well, we have this function, it's mostly the neural basis is a default mode network, because it allowed our ancestors to survive and reproduce, and it passed on kind of the underlying structure and functioned that allowed this wandering mind. So it did have some advantages. There are advantages to constantly scanning for any threat. So it's better to have survived and not been eaten by a tiger than being so zen-like and chill that the tiger just ate you. Who would pass on their genes? So there is a little bit of worrying about the future. But when we don't need to, how can we train the mind to stay on task and focus if we don't need to be constantly mind wandering or worrying? Now, there are some benefits to mind wandering. It does increase problem solving, getting some ideas, but there's more benefits to be able to train the mind to stay focused. A mind that isn't wandering is more happy, you're more efficient, you're able to get things done with less mistakes, less car crashes, right? If you're focusing on the road, it's a very good skill to have. But not wanting to think and trying to get rid of your thoughts just makes the thoughts more. You don't think of a pink elephant, you'll think of a pink elephant. So it's not necessarily trying more with willpower. That does not work at all. What has helped me and what I want to share with you is to hijack the system. And I got inspired by this by reading an old paper, I think it's from the 70s by Michel Cabanek, that pleasure is a common currency of the brain. Obviously, we find pleasurable things that get us back into homeostasis. Think that when you're warm, you have a cool ice cream, it gives you a sense of pleasure. So here we need to win over a different form of pleasure, and more so than the pleasure of a wandering mind. So there is a little bit of pleasure by the mind wandering. There's novelty, you maybe get some hits of, oh, I got this idea, I solved this. It also boosts the ego. But this is the trick that I found super, super helpful. Rather than paying attention to the content of the thoughts, notice, how does it feel in your body and mind? What's the texture of your mind, that condition of your mind when it's wandering? And notice the unpleasantness of it. It's wearisome, it's tiring, it's tight, it's yucky. So notice that aspect of wandering mind rather than getting caught up in the storyline. And secondly, notice the pleasurable aspect. And this is very, very important, of the mind when it's released from thought, when it's still, the spaces in between your thoughts, that sense of contentment, ease. And it takes practice, but having that aspect of pleasure is essential to rechange, to reshape your mind, to change the structure of your brain. So you're using your mind to change the structure of your brain. That'll change your mind. It takes practice. Keep on going. If you found this helpful, please do like and subscribe, because I hope to share these different tips that have helped me, but all from a scientific, informed by science and inspired by the spirituality. Hope it helps.